Hello and welcome back to 365 Days with mxmtoon. I'm Maia, a singer, songwriter, video maker, Oakland native, and I would love to fly over Paris in a hot air balloon. And as you know, I'm also a big fan of history. I love untold tales, gross facts, hidden secrets, anything weird, dark, and funky from the past. So each day I'm going to share a few of my favorite deep cuts with you. So let's take a look at today's stories.
It's 365 with mxmtoon. New facts every day, so don't leave too soon. I'm gonna teach you stuff, no it won't be tough. Gonna go a year till you've had enough. It's 365 with mxmtoon.
Today in 1783, Jean-François Pilote de Rosières and Marquis François Laurent d'Arlandes took the first air balloon flight in Paris. These two flew 5.5 miles over Paris in 25 minutes. It was the first balloon flight to fly without a tether. The flight took off at 2 p.m. from the garden of the Château de la Muette in the Bois de Boulogne and grounded 25 minutes later at the Bout de Cale, about 6 miles from where it began. It reached a height of 300 feet over Paris. U.S. envoy Benjamin Franklin and the French King Louis XVI watched from the ground. Benjamin Franklin wrote in his journal after watching the balloon, "We observed it lift off in the most majestic manner. When it reached around 250 feet in altitude, the intrepid voyagers lowered their hats to salute the spectators. We could not help but feel a certain mixture of awe and admiration." The balloon was made of cloth by two French papermakers, Jacques Etienne and Joseph Michel Montgolfier. The brothers ran a paper business in southern France, in the town of Vidalon. Since their paper business was so successful, they were able to invest in one of their side hobbies, scientific discoveries. In 1782, the brothers realized that if they burned combustible materials under a lightweight paper bag, the bag would rise up in the air. This made them realize that hot air makes balloons fly into the air. The next year, the Montgolfier brothers showcased the hot air balloon and balloon effect on a small scale in a summer demonstration in Annonay, a small commune in southern France between Lyon and Valence. They let an unmanned silk and paper balloon into the air, heated with burning straw and wool. It rose 3,000 feet and flew through the air before coming back down to the ground 2 miles after. After a few more successful air tests, the next level of experimentation involved sending small animals up into the air in their balloons. The animals, a sheep, a duck, and a rooster, all together in one balloon. They sent the animals into the air above Versailles for an audience of none other than King Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, and the royal court, as well as a crowd of 130,000 onlookers who were excited at the prospect of a hot air balloon flight. The sheep, duck, and rooster were in the air for 8 minutes before descending peacefully to the ground. Aboard the iconic first human flight was Jean-François Pilote de Rosières, henceforth known as Jean, who was a chemistry and physics teacher. He was born in Metz to an innkeeper, and as an adult he moved to Paris and was in charge of the Cabinet of Natural History. He opened a museum in the Marais district in Paris in 1781, where he pursued physics experiments and demonstrated them to Parisian nobility. He witnessed the farm animal flight led by the Montgolfier brothers and campaigned to Louis XVI for permission to be one of the men on the first balloon flight to carry men without a tether. He was also a member of the second untethered hot air balloon flight in January of 1784, launched from Lyon. Unfortunately, he ended up dying just 2 years later in a balloon accident in the Pas de Calais during a balloon flight attempting to cross the English Channel. He designed the balloon for this task himself, as a combination of a hydrogen balloon and a hot air balloon. Sadly, the balloon caught fire in the air and deflated and crashed. Him and his companion, Pierre Romain, were the first recorded men to die in an air crash. The other man on the initial flight was François Laurent de Landres, a nobleman and soldier. He was born in the Dauphiné. King Louis XVI originally wanted condemned criminals to be aboard the first hot air balloon in case it crashed, and because the effects of altitude on humans weren't yet precisely defined. But Jean convinced him that it was a safe endeavor and higher status men should be given the honor. After Jean successfully campaigned to get on the flight, Delandre agreed to accompany him. Upon the completion of the flight, Jean and Delandre toasted with champagne, a tradition that continues to this day among balloonists. The Montgolfier brothers later received honors from the French Académie des Sciences. The brothers wrote books on aeronautics and continued scientific research. But let's switch gears for our music fact. Today, in 1955, Elvis signed his contract with RCA Records. RCA purchased the recording contract from Sam Phillips at Sun Records for $35,000, which was unprecedented in record sales at the time. Presley was only 20 years old. The sale also included $5,000 paid to Elvis in back royalties from his former producer, Sam Phillips. Moving to RCA was a huge move for Elvis's career, allowing his promotion and distribution to expand worldwide. And now for our final segment of the day, I'm going to be going into my own photo archives to see what I was up to on a November 21st in my life. Okay, on November 21st, 2019, I recorded something for 88 Rising. This was really exciting for me because I've been a huge fan of 88 Rising for as long as I can remember. I went to their concerts they had at the Warfield in San Francisco with my best friend when I was in high school. I went to see Rich Brian and Joji was there. Dumbfounded was supposed to be there, I think, but the Higher Brothers were also there. It was incredible. It was so much fun. But it was kind of this surreal moment where I suddenly got to be a part of a project that I have admired for years as an Asian American artist. And it was really cool to be asked to be a part of it. It ended up being for, this quarantine show that they were doing, and it was pretending to be live. And I was like, it's mxmtoon, and I'm live here in my apartment. It wasn't my apartment. It was like a studio space that they rented. And also my hair was purple, which at the time is, obviously something that I did last year and wasn't recent at all. But I just remember feeling like I have very few moments where I get this reality check of remembering that, I'm so amazed at what my job has become for me, because I never in a million years would have expected to be able to have the opportunity to be a full-time musician. And, 88 Rising was this tangible thing that I know I was a fan of, that I was over the moon about just as an audience member. And to all of a sudden have this opportunity to then be a part of what they were doing, it really validated, I think, my experience being Asian American, and also feeling like, wow, I've made it so far in my own music career that I get to be a part of projects that my idols get to be a part of. And so that was just really cool. I remember just being blown away that day. But that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. And remember to listen tomorrow and through all of November and for the rest of the year if you want to. If you please, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow at 365 Days mxmtoon on your preferred social media platforms. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
It's 365 with mxmtoon. New facts every day, so don't leave too soon. I'm gonna teach you stuff, no it won't be tough. Gonna go a year till you've had enough. It's